Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 972, we're going to talk about our budget league. Now, here at the shop, a good friend of mine, Scott, has got together, and he had come up with a budget commander league, if you will. He put all the possible color combinations on the wheel of names, and when you signed up, you spun the wheel, and you got the color combination that you got. Well, I got Simic. Now, the rules of said budget league, this time, it changes from like what we'll call season to season. It's like 2 months, whatever. But the rules for this season was $60 limit, but your lands don't count. So any lands that you have do not count towards your $60 limit. So with that, I said, of course, we're gamers and we want to min-max everything. How can I best do that? Well, I have not done a deck with Gretchen yet. So I said, you know what? For 2 mana, a 0/4, so she's not a bad blocker in the early game. And for 4 mana, draw a card, you may put a little. So 4 mana, explore, or whatever the Simic one is. So it's just repeatable. So I knew most of my deck was going to be lands, because I wanted a land-centric deck. That way I could kind of, I don't want to say abuse the rules, but you know what I'm saying. Get the most value. So, here we are. Now, I have my normal categories. Let's look at card draw first. First thing I'm going to show you is scrying sheets. Now, yes, all my basic lands are snow-covered. No, they're not all Ice Age, but they're almost all Ice Age. Darn. Anyway, scrying sheets is just a great card. It does exactly that, and if it's snow, you can put it in your hand. Now, I do have Explore and Horn of Greed, because, play land. Now, this does not count for Gretchen's ability land or lands that are dumped into play via, like, rampant growth or anything else. It's just your land play. So, let's look at our ramp. I'm going to show you the non-land ramp before I show you the land ramp, because I have lands in every category. Farseek into the north. Here again, we are playing with snow, and there's one particular snow card in the deck that into the north is 4. We'll get there. Explosive Vegetation, Arcane Signet, Cultivate, Migration Path, Ranger's Path, Hour of Promise, Thought Vessel, Kodama's Reach, Soul Ring, Rampant Growth, Harrow, Sky Shroud Claim. And then we have the ones that you would think of, the lands. The Myriad Landscape, Blighted Woodland, Terrain Generator. But I also love me some Thawing Glaciers. Now, there is a green enchantment that I did not have at the time of building this. Yes, we all want Amulet of Vigor for Thawing Glaciers because it's just amazing. However, it took up way too much of the budget. But there is a little 3 mana common or uncommon enchantment, I think, out of Ixalan, new Ixalan, that's says your lands come into play and tap, does something with caves. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that helps you out a bunch here. A little bit of a recursion with Mystic Sanctuary. Have a weird category here before we get into creatures and removal. Speaking of recursion, Splendid Reclamation. Now, this is a Blood Moon heavy format because I let everybody know right up front. And the actual culminating event has not happened yet, so I'm risking a bunch by putting this out there for y'all. I know they're coming at me with the Blood Moons. That's fine. But Splendid Reclamation will get some back. Black Blade Reforged, because you can just strap things up and it'll be okay. Blanchwood Armor. This is a very Brian Canada deck, isn't it? Tolaria West, kind of a tutor for whichever land you need. Animist Awakening, and Genesis Wave, and one of my personal snow-covered favorites is Sunstone. We don't talk about this enough, really. You can sack a snow-covered land to fog. Okay. Sign me up. So let's look at our creatures. First and foremost, you saw the Into the North. You know the Dark Depths is in there. And if you have Dark Depths, you've got Thespian Stage. I mean, that's just how it is. I guess since we're doing the land creatures, Dryad Arbor, Mutavault, Frostwood Bastion, Inkmoth Nexus, Fearless Haven, and your friend and mine, the Field of the Dead. Now, Murkfiend Liege is really good here. It just untaps your creatures, so it's Pseudo Vigilance. You know, Rampaging Balos, because we're going to be dumping a ton of land. Cultivator Colossus. Power Tough Slans. And then the Royal Elemental has done absolute work in the games I have played. I mean, because as many lands as you're playing, it's wild. It's wild. Removal-wise, of course, we've got our Negate, Counterspell, and Etherize. Now, I've got this Rishodon Port to guard against that dang Maze of Ith, which I should have one in here, but I don't. I need a maze. Wasteland, another thing that can help me out against everybody else's troublesome lands. Otara to bounce, and Boseiju as my silver bullet for that Blood Moon I was talking about. This is not going to be a long deck because there are so many lands. So let's get to our actual land category, shall we? We have a Breeding Pool, Tropical Island, Rogue's Passage, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, Fabled Passage. Oop, get up there, Evolving Wilds. Undiscovered Paradise. Now, I love Undiscovered Paradise. For this deck, it's perfect. For your landfall decks, at the beginning of your next untap phase, bounce this to your hand. So, yeah, pretty sharp, huh? You can continually get that landfall trigger. Rimewood Falls, it's snow covered. The Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Reliquary Tower, Ash Barrens, Gemstone Caverns. I have never in all of my Magic playing life, I have never got the Gemstone Caverns out on turn one. Yeah, it'll happen one day. And then Tangled Island. And of course, a thick little brick of snow-covered islands and forests. And that is Gretchen. I know that was pretty quick, but it's a pretty straightforward deck. The Gretchen's ability to draw a card and make a land drop. I know there's probably better commanders out there, but I've used them. But it works really well with things like Thawing Glaciers, and to where you can dump any land in your hand. So I have never activated that ability and not had a land to drop. It is, you just overwhelm them with mana. Way more mana than you should have. But that is it for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Wish me luck. I know this will not, reign triumphant or whatnot, but it'll be fun to play. And, it's a very me deck. So, that's what I've got for today. I appreciate y'all watching, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.